Welcome to your Farm and Home Show. My name is Joanna Coles, and this morning we're visiting with Dr. Ellen Crocker. She's with the University of Kentucky Forestry Extension there. We're going to talk about a topic that I think a lot of people are interested in, and that's the American chestnut.
Yes, our famous American chestnut, an important species for timber, for wildlife, and for us to eat the nuts, but not with us anymore, or at least not as common as it used to be due to an invasive fungus that has wiped it out in our area.
And it used to be really popular right here in Kentucky.
It did. Depending on where you were in the state, you might have had 1 out of every 4 trees being an American chestnut. Really common species. But in the early 1900s, an invasive fungus native to Asia was accidentally introduced that has wiped out our American chestnuts. There they have chestnuts and we have chestnuts. And their chestnuts have lived with this fungus for many years. They're adapted to it. They can defend themselves. But when it was introduced here, our native trees don't have those same defenses and were really impacted by it. So it was first detected in 1905, and in about the 40 years after that, spread through most of the range of chestnut and killed billions of trees. Now, you can still find chestnuts out in the woods, they just look totally different. So instead of being big forest trees, what you're going to see are kind of shrubby bushes that every time one of those stems shoots up and gets big enough, it's killed by this fungus, but it doesn't kill the root system. So those shoots will continue to come back.
And a lot of times people say, well, that's one tree. But that one tree affects a whole ecosystem around it. And so, we're excited that there's potential that we might be able to get that American chestnut back.
Definitely. There's been some really exciting research going on to try to restore American chestnut, bring it back. Not only has the loss of that tree been important for us, we like to eat the nuts of that tree, we like to use the timber, but also for our animals, for our woods. And so there's a lot of groups that are doing really exciting work to try to bring that back. Right now, you still can't purchase an American chestnut that's going to be resistant to this fungus. Eventually, it's going to succumb to that disease. But I would encourage anyone that if they're interested in American chestnut, they can get involved right now by going out and looking for American chestnuts. You would be amazed by how many of them are still out there. Even though they're small and they can get this disease, they are still out in our environment. And you can actually report those with the Tree Snap app. It's a free app that organizations like the American Chestnut Foundation are using to try to find those trees. And when people have looked in the state of Kentucky, they've reported over 1,000 American chestnuts that are still out there. Now, they are those small shrubby things, but if you want to get an experience finding those trees and looking for them, you can check out Tree Snap and report those trees yourself.
But where would you say people go to find the latest information?
The American Chestnut Foundation is a great organization. Anybody who's interested in chestnut, wants to learn more, wants to get involved, check out our Kentucky chapter. They're really active in a lot of different things, trying to protect chestnuts, trying to restore them. And do check out the Tree Snap app. They use it in other groups too to see, where is chestnut, and get some information that they can use in their research.
And you might even be able to look on the map and see where it is, and then be able to go. If you have trouble identifying it, it tells you where they are, so you can kind of go see that as well.
Yeah, you can look on the map, see where people have been reporting them, and hopefully your own observations will show up there soon.
Yeah, and people say, well, we have Chinese chestnut that we can eat and enjoy.
Oh, yes.
But it's just, usually we don't find that in our forests areas.
Yeah, Chinese chestnut is a wonderful tree and a wonderful nut producer. And if you want to be growing chestnuts for eating them, that's what you probably want to be growing, because it's going to be more resistant to that fungus. It's going to grow really well, but it's going to grow differently from our American chestnut. Instead of being a tall forest tree, it grows as more of a shorter orchard tree. You will find them throughout the state and beyond, sometimes growing in woods that look like, how could this have gotten here? But you'd be amazed by the history of those trees being planted at old home sites, as well as, I'm sure, getting planted by an ambitious squirrel or something like that. So you will find those out in the wild as well. And I personally love eating them. So
yeah, they just look different. But we're excited for, the American chestnut to be reintroduced, and if people want to watch that, we're probably closer than we've ever been, right?
Definitely closer than we've ever been. And if you want to get involved, definitely check out the American Chestnut Foundation and the Tree Snap app.
Thanks for watching, and have a great day.